Hi, I'm Natalie Ledwell, and today I want to share with you 4 simple ways to avoid negative thoughts. So when you're faced with decisions, whether they're big or small, do you hear a little voice inside your head guiding you towards the worst case scenario? Is that voice saying things like, you aren't good enough, you shouldn't do that, you're going to fail, or someone else can do that better than you? Has that voice trained you to be pessimistic when you're faced with new or tough situations? Well, we've all experienced times when that inner voice starts to become more of an inner critic and begins to talk way too much and way louder than it should. Now, a negative mind is powerful and can sabotage you and your potential. But a mind filled with positive thoughts and positive intentions and solutions has the power to obliterate any negative critic. That's why today I'd like to share with you 4 simple ways to silence those overbearing inner voices and to start living the greatest life that you deserve. So, tip number 1, start positive. So when you wake up in the morning, how are you feeling? Are you feeling anxious or nervous about the day ahead? Are you worried about an upcoming job interview or a test? Or are you worried about anything in general? So it's time to start making a conscious effort to begin the day on a more positive note. And I mean right from the get-go, from as soon as you wake up. Step number 1 is to get rid of the phone. Don't have the phone next to your bed. What happens is that you wake up, your brain starts to kick in, you reach over, you grab the phone, and you're instantly going into that negative vortex of what's on the phone, whether it's emails or social media or whatever that is. The most successful people in the world don't keep their phone next to their bed. First tip. So get rid of the phone and replace it with a pad and paper. So you can either journal the night before, or you can write down some questions that you want your subconscious mind to mull over in the evening. Then, as you're waking up in the morning, that's a perfect opportunity to ask that question, to think about what it is that you want to do for the day. And as you're waking up and your eyes are still closed, you are in theta brainwave activity. This means that you're connected to the collective consciousness so that when you ask questions like this, you are able to get the answer. Once those answers start coming to you, this is a great time to write them down. Now, you can write down the answers that come to you. You can also write down your goals. You can set your intentions, and you can basically shift that thought process into more affirmations, into the voice of positivity. So each day you wake up is a fresh start to get ahead of your inner critic. Now, you can write down anything, like I said, answers, intentions, goals, weekly goals, actions that you're going to take. Just make sure that you reference them every morning. So like an early workout or, chugging down that water first thing in the morning, you get to set the tone for a triumphant day. You are giving your mind no room to sneak in any self-limiting beliefs or any self-doubts, and you are combating self-doubt straight away. Okay, number 2 is be mindful. It's funny how the little voice inside our head tries to tell us the things that we can't do or why we're not good enough. And he pretty much has that down, to a T. That's why mindfulness is absolutely crucial. Oftentimes we try to ignore our discouraging inner voice, but knowing that it's there will help you to face it head on. So you're not just dealing with life as it comes. So to be mindful is to help yourself overcome challenges by dealing with life on purpose. So learn to become in tune with your inner thoughts so that you can replace them with feelings of positivity and affirmations. So write these thoughts out on paper. It's important that you get any kind of negative thought out onto paper so that number 1, they're out of your mind. Number 2, you get to acknowledge them. When you acknowledge that these are the thoughts that are going through your mind, you then have the choice. You have the choice to think something different. So what you can also do is write the opposite of those thoughts. Write them down on the paper and make a conscious effort to think those instead of the negative thoughts that are coming up as a default. Mindfully silencing your inner critic is being aware of precisely what to do when those inner voices start to creep in. Your inner critic is so deeply rooted into your subconscious mind that it becomes the reason we begin to second guess ourselves. So by understanding that your inner critic exists, you will realize how you can work through tough situations and the uncertainty of everyday life with purpose and with intent. Okay, so number 3 is to get out of your own way. In uncomfortable situations or in times of doubt, it can be easy to succumb to the thoughts and feelings that you aren't good enough, And that's your inner critic talking. The good news is that there's only one thing standing in the way of your true destiny, and that's you. Now that you know how to incorporate mindful thinking into your life, it's time to start being fearless. And naturally, the sound of your inner critic will fade into the background. So remember, you are the gatekeeper of your thoughts, not your inner critic. Your inner critic starts by first grabbing your attention, which causes anxiety to kick in. Anxiety causes us to feel confused and unsure, and it triggers stress, both of which have the power to drain you of your energy and your willpower completely. Now, you are sabotaging yourself of your true potential and destiny when you allow those inner voices to talk over you, causing both mental and physical effects. Now, this voice is not you. It's the programs in your subconscious mind. There's a difference between that negative thought that is not in your best interest. It is connected to events and to trauma and to different situations and observations that you made when you were a child. When you were a child, you saw something, you made an assumption about it, you created a belief or a program, and that's what you're operating from your subconscious mind. So when these millions of thoughts come up for you that are attached to those negative programs, you think that this is you. You think that this is your thought. But this is just your inner critic. The true you is the essence of who you are. It's your soul. It's the divine part of you. So when you have a practice every day where you can sit quietly and silence that inner critic, you have the opportunity for the essence of you to come through. That's getting out of your own way. And when you do that, you can start living your life on purpose because you're telling the universe to make room for the things that you love and enjoy. Okay, now tip number 4 is to practice calming rituals. So do you ever think about what happens when you hear that inner critic? Well, it usually pops in abruptly and stops you dead in your tracks like a boulder in the middle of a road. It's that pit in your stomach or that rush of hesitation before facing a new task or a new challenge. The intensity of your inner critic can often cause you to react instead of thinking mindfully. Like, for example, immediately shutting down a new opportunity because your inner critic says you aren't good enough. So there's no better way to drown out the sound of those inner voices than to find calming rituals to incorporate into your daily life. Calmness comes in many forms, like taking just a few deep breaths throughout the day or even meditating. So you know what, let's give it a try right now. So what I want you to do is to close your eyes, make sure you're sitting comfortably, and I want you to take one deep inhale through your nose, so breathing in, hold it. Now slowly exhale. Okay, let's do a couple more times. So slowly breathing in and hold. And slowly breathing out. Okay, one more time. Slowly breathing in and hold and breathing out. Okay, when you're ready, just open your eyes. Now, how do you feel? Now, I don't know about you, but I can already feel that self-doubt leaving my body. I can feel that I'm completely calm and in a place of happiness. You can even hear it in my voice. 2 to 3 deep breaths like that is a game changer. And what it does is it helps to calm your parasympathetic nervous system, it calms your mind, it calms your body, it calms everything so that you're in a place of stillness. And from that place, you can choose which is the voice in your head that you want to listen to. Now, the best part is that I didn't even hear a peep from my inner critic while I was doing that. Now, as you get used to this ritual, you'll be practicing meditation and other forms of calming release in no time. And you'll find that it's a really important part of your day. So to start, just take a minute or two, try a few deep breaths and do this exercise a few times a day and as often as you can. It's really going to help you tremendously. And you'll start to feel like you can conquer anything. A calm mind is a mind at ease, fully capable and aware of tuning out those negative thoughts, releasing your past, and silencing those self-limiting beliefs. Understand that life gets hectic sometimes, but know that you are in full control of guiding your thoughts and actions towards a better way of life. So with these tips, You now have the tools to break free of the voices that are inside that are holding you back from achieving your highest potential. So start applying them today. Now, before I go, I'd love to hear from you. Do you have any other tips that have helped you to overcome negative thoughts? If you have, I encourage them to please share them here in the comment box. And don't forget to subscribe to the Mind Movies YouTube channel for more videos on personal growth and the law of attraction. Again, my name is Natalie Ledwell. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.